So we've talked a bit about planning, we've talked about materials, we've talked about damage and how we can be efficient in the way we work. But the one big subject that we want to talk about is our time as a resource and how we can easily waste that if we're not switched on all the time. So as an employer, our biggest responsibility is to make sure that we work safely, we work efficiently for the benefit of the environment, and also that we fairly reward everybody who works in our team. And that's about our responsibility as an employer. And on the flip side of that, we look for the responsibility of our employees to use the time that they're paid as constructively as they possibly can. That is the deal that we have together. I personally take those responsibilities very, very seriously. And I want you to think about responsibility as two words, not one. Response and ability. The way we respond and our ability to respond when we attack wastage. Because we can always respond when we see wastage at every level, at every role, and in everything we do. So the reason we chose to put this little video together was driven by an event late last year on one of our projects, and I was just leaving site about 6 o'clock in the evening, and there were 3 machines all ticking over, all waiting to get to a fuel bowser to fill up for the next day, which is entirely appropriate. But all 3 of those machines had operators sat in them who were on their telephones, while one person was struggling to move a pallet of delivered materials that had been accidentally placed in front of the fuel bowser. And I stopped my car and I asked the 3 people who were sat in their machines on their telephones if they thought it was appropriate to watch that man struggle. That is a wastage of everybody's time and effort. The ticking over machines, the fact they could be doing something positive, the fact that a man was left struggling because people didn't think it was their responsibility to respond to that event. In our business, it is your responsibility to respond and help. So let's just have a quick look at the things we can all do inside our working day to help us respond and attack wastage. And the reason why it's all of our responsibility to look at that is our working day is somewhere between 500 and 600 minutes, maybe a bit more. And those minutes are really valuable, and using them effectively really matters. So if a construction worker is on site for 600 minutes a day, we need to look at how we use those 600 minutes to the optimum effect, because that worker is being paid for every minute that they're working other than their breaks. Let's assume that a construction business is making above the average of the top 20, they're making a 5% profit. 5% of 600 minutes is 30 minutes. So if that construction worker isn't gainfully employed for those 30 minutes in the day, because they're on their phone, or they're waiting for a delivery, or they're redoing some work because it wasn't done properly right the first time, then that business has made no profit out of employing that individual. There is no point. And that is a waste. What a waste. So I ask everybody who works with us, think about your time as a resource. It matters. Everybody can attack wastage at every level. It's our responsibility to do that. Collaborating, looking for damage, looking forward and planning your day at every level on every project. We all have that responsibility. If you want to use your telephone, please don't do it in working hours. Do it in your break times, because you're paid to be working. It's your responsibility. Taking responsibility means doing what you're paid to do. It means looking after your co-workers. It means looking after your interests and your employers in equal measure, and doing the best you can to attack wastage. Please use your time as a resource as effectively as you can. It matters to us.